जाने के लिए क्लिक करने से चला जाएगा। अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक ठीक। So good afternoon everyone. Myself Gopal Sahoo, scientist B from CGWB. This topic was last moment came to me, so I was actually not prepared for this. So today we will discuss on water quality assessment on the source of the source. So basically in groundwater for India we have two types of issue. First one is quality issue and second one is quantity issue. So majorly you can see that 54% of India faces high to extremely high water stress. So our northeastern area is quietly in safe region, but in term of quality issue we have detected iron, fluoride, arsenic in very recent years in northeastern region. So I am not going to discuss everything here. As you see that only 3% of total water resource of the world is only drinkable, and the remaining 37% is in sea, that is in salt form. Out of this 3%, only 1% is in lake, river and stream, and 11% of the groundwater is up to 800 meter, which we can extract. But below 800 meter we have another 11%, which whose extraction is generally not possible, and remaining 77% is in ice cap. So this is the irrigation structure. You can see that source of the irrigation are mostly surface water, and where surface water is not so much there, so they extract the groundwater and wastewater. So from these we have some contamination also which come into the groundwater from the agriculture wastage. So water is the lifeline for human beings as well as all the animals. So when the temperature is less than 0 degrees Celsius, it is in ice form, and when it is above 100 degrees Celsius, it is in stream form. When the temperature is 0 to 100 degrees Celsius, then it is only in liquid form, which is for our use. So this is the basic water chemistry. Water molecule is consists of two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom. Left side you can see the Bohr model, and there is a strong hydrogen bond between oxygen and hydrogen atom, and so the oxygen molecule is slightly negative and hydrogen atom is slightly positive. This attraction makes the hydrogen bond, and for this water molecule is polar, and this property makes the water a universal solvent. It can dissolve mostly all the other solvent or salts, it can easily dissolve. So it is very much prominent that most of the contaminant can easily dissolve in water. So if we characterize the water, it has three type of major characteristic: physical property, chemical and biological. Under physical characteristic we generally determine the color, turbidity, odor, taste, suspended solids, and in chemical we generally determine the major cation and anions. In cation like calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, also other cation also, but this is the major cations. And in anions, chloride, sulphate, carbonate, bicarbonate, nitrate, fluoride. Sometimes we also determine the radioactive uranium and heavy metals like arsenic, iron, cadmium, and in biological parameter we generally determine the dissolved gases, microorganism and BOD, COD. So which type of constituents are major and which are minors? When one parameter is greater than 5 milligram per liter in water, that will be called as major constituents, and when it is 0.0012 5 milligram per liter, it is minor constituents, and when this is less than 0.001 milligram per liter, that is 1 ppb, that is the trace constituents. So here everything has been given with the example. So being a polar molecule, water has some specific properties like specific heat. It is universal solvent. Its capillary action, surface tension. Capillary action, you know, probably when small tube-like things we drip, water comes into it. And surface tension, due to surface tension, this type of little it can float over water body also. And probably we have tried in our childhood this kind of things we have thrown and it guns the way, everything for surface tension. So million of molecules of water makes one raindrop, so it contains millions of H2O molecules. So properties of water is it is liquid in normal temperature and pressure, it's polar, universal solvent, inorganic inorganic substances dissolved in the water. So sources of water. Water are main sources is the rainwater. From rainwater we have water in groundwater also and in surface water also. Then the surface water, groundwater is exist separately. So these are the main procedure. From surface water there is some evaporation, then condensation, then there is precipitation. From that groundwater recharge also occur and remaining flow goes to the surface water. This is the cycle of water, that is water cycle. So during evaporation and condensation, when the water is going, I am showing from this slide, when there is evaporation then condensation, majorly nitrogen and carbon, these elements are coming into the water. And when this is, I have this later slide also, when it comes in the contact with the ground, there is some minerals which is dissolved in the water. So here you can see that when rainwater comes in the contact of atmosphere, gases like carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, it become acidic. So it dissolved in the water and water become acidic. And here is the rock and minerals which have these properties. Water flows through soil and rocks, minerals with various physical and chemical changes takes place. So they are the major process are the dissolution, hydration, oxidation, reduction and the ion exchange. In the industrial area, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrate, sulfate, these dissolved in the water and water makes contaminant. Rainwater is the purest form. When these elements are dissolved in water, the pH goes up to 4, which means acid rain. Acid rain occurs. So what I was telling that this one, from air, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen comes, then mineral in the ground, calcium carbonate, magnesium sulfate, silicate, magnesium chloride, this goes into the water, and from the sea, sodium and chloride come into the water. So this is the complete cycle. Everything has been discussed here earlier. So what is water contaminants? Water is not only H2O. Any other particle which are present in water above some certain limit, we call it contaminants. So it can be microorganism, it can be other gases, it can be ions, it can be organic particles, but above some certain limit. When it is above certain limit, we call it contaminants. So what contaminants group may be present? Dissolved gases, particle colloids, organics, minerals. So major anions I have told also earlier: chloride, nitrate, sulfate, phosphate, bicarbonate, silicate, and cations are sodium, calcium, magnesium, iron, lead and aluminium, these manganese, these are in trace element category. So I have already discussed that. So our main target is how we will collect the sample. So I have later on the other PPT it has completely discussed. For just this one, we have some aquifer and we have to collect some representative sample in the container with a fixed amount of quantity, and we have to label the bottle, and we have to preserve with some preservative like acid, and it should be reached to the lab in time. So these parameters have been already discussed, and in laboratory these minimum things we must have in the laboratory, like RO system or distilled water plant, and then for
कल के लिए एक ये है, tomorrow one presentation should be given from the participants. So just now I asked director sir because he told that yes it should be given. So I think madam also I have discussed. So minimum participants are there, so we have only one presentation is required to be presented.
If you see the training, in that class, no, there's presentation for participants. So from the participant side, you just prepare 2, 3, 4 slides and give a feedback. So
only
whatever you have learned,
one presentation from the whole team.
One person can volunteer.
Only one person.
Yeah. What you have learned so far, the gist of the training.
Because some people are busy with their work, so they will be leaving. So we can avoid उनको हटा के.
Because if each one of you give same presentation that you give, so you can discuss in group, you can make the better, like a group teamwork, and one person can speak on behalf of the trainees. No? So who is willing to present on behalf of the trainees?
I think madam will be not available, so she will be going, and you will be also going, right? All three. So from home robots.
You can discuss among themselves, each and two.
मीन्स आप बता दीजिए उसमें क्या क्या रहेगा, कितना स्लाइड रहेगा.
Up to you, but from first दिन से लेके आज का आज कल तो hands on होगा, hands on का तो
We will get to the presentation. आज ही मिल जाएगा सबको. दे ही दिया मैंने. एक ही रखा है सब कुछ. ठीक है.
अभी जो सिखाओ क्या क्या.
I think अभी एक ग्रुप लीडर बना दीजिए मैडम, नहीं तो फिर ग्रुप लीडर नाम है संदीप सर. ग्रुप लीडर
सर कल हमारा स्टैंडिंग की मीटिंग भी है और आगे ले जाता है, तो अगर हमको बुला लेता है तो हम तो नॉट अवेलेबल, तो वो
जो रहेगा इधर तो उससे डिस्कस करिए. आप बता दीजिए.
ग्रुप लीडर दत्ता सर भी
के लिए सब पता है.
सर आप ग्रुप लीडर बन जाइए, आप किसी को नॉमिनेट
आप नॉमिनेट कर दीजिए. वो सर भी है, वो भी पीएचसी के वो रहेंगे, वो एक साल तो जाने को अबू मान दीजिए. एक तरफ बोले we will make him leader, then he will it will be good decided here. अपने लो मैं present अपने present. So everyone, if any inputs are there, sir आपका नाम Rocky take it, you can
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we are discussing about laboratory facilities. In a chemical laboratory, we must have some RO system, and then we have some balance system and weight analysis facilities, pH meter, EC turbidity meter, flame photometer, UV visible spectrophotometer, ion meter, SS, GC. So from these we can analysis all the parameter I have shown you. Later on I will show you the picture of the every instrument. So this is a general physical parameter like temperature, color. So key chemical parameter are the like pH, EC, fluoride, nitrate, DO, and major constants. I have already discussed these things. So now comes to pH. When pH is less than 7, we call it acidic pH. When it is exactly 7, it is neutral, and greater than 7 means it is basic. And when what is EC? This is the total ions present which contributes to the conductivity that is the EC, and SS means suspended solids. When it is greater than 10 milligram per liter, it may clog the pores. Okay, and DO, this is the dissolved oxygen. So this is mainly for aquatic life. When dissolved oxygen is very less, then oxygen is less, so it makes problems for aquatic life. So turbidity means how much suspended colloidal particle is present in water, and actually this is how much clear a water is at first appearance. So, and pH, from pH, this is the pH paper. From the color of the pH paper, if you dip it into the water, and if any one of this color appears, then you can tell that pH of that corresponding pH is that number mentioned at the left side. And electrical conductivity, this is the specific conductance which is defined as the conductance of water column which have 1 centimeter length and 1 centimeter square area of cross section area, and at the temperature 25 degrees Celsius. This is measured in micro Siemens per semi, and from EC we can calculate TDS also, total dissolved solid, which is 0.55 to 0.92 times of EC, and ideally we consider it nearly 0.65. So this is the TDS. TDS is the total dissolved particle present in the water body. So we have some classification. If the TDS is less than 1000 milligram per liter, then we call it fresh water, and if it is between 1000 to 3000, it is slightly saline. 3000 to 10,000 moderately saline. Up to 35,000 it is very saline, and greater than 35,000 it is brackish. So these are the major constituents: sodium, calcium, magnesium, bicarbonate, sulfate, chloride and silica. These are mainly present in the water body. If we add these parameter, we can calculate rough TDS in the water, and these are the secondary: iron, strontium, potassium, carbonate, nitrate, fluoride, boron. Their limit are very less, and trace element, these are from 1 ppb to 1000 ppb, that is 1 microgram per liter to 1000 microgram per liter. So these are the parameters. So how we determine these chemical parameters? We determine pH from pH meter, conductivity from EC meter, and total hardness, calcium, carbonate, bicarbonate, chloride we do via titration. Turbidity by turbidity meter, fluoride, chloride, nitrate, bromide, these are by ion meter, and from flame photometer, sodium, potassium, sometimes lithium and calcium also, and from spectrophotometer we determine nitrate, phosphate, silicate and sulfate also, and from double S we determine heavy metal. Now we have the advanced instrument with us like ion chromatography IC, by which we can determine all the major cation and anions, and instead of double S we are using ICP-MS, from which we can determine all the heavy metal in single run. So these are the some primary sources. I am not going to read out all the things. So these are the limit of the quality parameter. So this is the highest desirable limit, and next one is the maximum permissible limit. So our major concern is, as I told, that iron, arsenic and fluoride. So iron has both anthropogenic and geogenic sources. Anthropogenic sources like acid mine drainage, industrial effluent, and geogenic are the generally rocks. So if excess iron containing water is taken for a long time, then this type of disease may occur, like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. So iron and manganese both coexist, and these are common contaminants in the water for northeastern. Next one is the arsenic. We call arsenic as the king of the poison king, means this is the king of all the poison. Okay, so these also have some geogenic and anthropogenic sources, and for long time exposure, arsenicosis, lung, skin, liver cancer, these diseases occur. Next one is the fluoride. Fluoride also have some geogenic and anthropogenic sources. If you take excess fluoride, then dental fluorosis, you can see the structure, and skeletal fluorosis. These are common for excess fluoride uptake. So for agriculture water quality, we classify water in three categories: class 1, class 2, class 3, where each parameter has some certain range. So you can see that. So after obtaining the data, we can plot the data in the pie chart diagram, and from here we can tell that whether water is fresh, that is this is from the rainwater recharge, or from other saline water intrusion has occur, or some salt reverse ion exchange occur. Everything can be predicted from this pie chart diagram. And another one is the US salinity diagram. This is also very useful for irrigation parameter consideration. So if this is fall in the left corner C1S1, that is the low salinity and low sodium hazards, and when we comes from left to right, then and from below to above, both the salinity and the sodium hazards increases. So the safest water will be in C1S1 category, and the least safe will be C4S4. Okay. Then monitoring and assessment. So how we will there will be some protocol by which we will by following which we will analysis our groundwater sample or any water sample. So we will decide that we can follow BIS standard, that is Bureau of Indian Standard method, AFA method. So in our lab we are generally considering AFA method. So this decide how you will preserve the sample, how will you analyze, what is the procedure. So everything has been mentioned here. So this is the sampling procedure what I was telling. For basic sample, we generally collect 1000 ml sample, and from here we determined total dissolved solid chloride, fluoride, sodium, potassium. But if we are going with ion chromatography, as I was telling, so 250 sample is enough for analysis of all the basic parameter. And we have to collect refrigerator sample also, because from the refrigerator sample we have to analysis bicarbonate and nitrate immediately after submission at the lab. And then for the iron analysis by double S, we have to preserve the sample with 1:1 HCl, and it will be collected at 250 ml bottle. And for heavy metal, we have to mix 1:1 nitric acid in 500 ml. But if we are analyzing the heavy metal parameter in ICP-MS, we are using nitric acid plus HCl mixer, and for stable isotope we are collecting the sample at 50 ml, and no need to add any preservative here. So these are the instrument by which we analysis all the parameter: pH from pH meter, conductivity from conductivity meter, and here at the below you can see that uranium from uranium analyzer and / ICP-MS, iron also UV spectrophotometer and double S, arsenic, other heavy metal. So every parameter here mentioned can be analyzed by ICP-MS in the below portion, but that arsenic 3 and 5, that can be by only ion chromatograph. That 3-5 determination cannot be done by ICP-MS. So these are our some clipping from our lab. This is the pH meter, EC meter, UV spectrophotometer and flame photometer. This is the left side ion meter, and these EC and pH meter for field purpose, and water testing kit is also for field purpose. So when we are going to field, we are collecting sample, we have to analyze some basic parameter like pH, TDS, EC, sometime DO for surface water. So everything we have to measure in the field, and this is the uranium analyzer. So that top corner, that photo is for AA instrument, and right corner this is the IC instrument, and below one is the ion chromatograph obtained from the IC. From here you can see that separate fix is for separate parameter. This is for anion purpose. For cation we get separate fix. So our lab is NABL accredited. These are some old picture of 2016. I haven't time to get the latest one. So this was from 2018. These are the photo. These are our lab photo. That one is wet chemical lab, and below one is the distillation chamber. This is our lab from the outside. So thank you. If you have any question, you can ask. No question? Okay, thank you.
Kelas pertama ya, Bunda.